I don't want to French press my coffee if we have a regular coffee maker. It's just less of a mess.
That's because it's coffee. You have a cup. So, hi.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to Man on Movie. I'm a woman. My name is Moo Kastak. I'm not a man.
I'm co-host Ben Banach. Show we're talking about Thorn on this episode.
Thor.
From Marvel Comic Magazine, comic books.
It's a comic book turned into a movie. Those do well.
This movie features one of our favorite religious figures in Thor.
Jesus.
Well, there's some debate to whether there's any parallels between Thor's life and Jesus'
Buddha.
Because Buddha...
Allah,
I'm not familiar with the story of Allah.
My favorite part of this film is the first 15 minutes of this film.
She missed the first 15 minutes where they set up the plot, which is dark elves which are from Skyrim, the video game, if you guys are familiar.
So my favorite part was the first 15 minutes, for sure. The part where I wasn't in the movie theater. That was what I enjoyed the most. Moving on from there, I think that there was a lot of crossover between different genres of films. Like, there was like a lot of, like, there was Snuffleupagus, there was a Muppet.
They had Gimby from Lord of the Rings, the
red
bearded man, short.
I think Roger Rabbit came at one point, and then Queen Amidala was like all over the place, and it's just too much.
Let's leave the crossover mythology to the master, Neil Gaiman, Marvel.
Oh.
But I found that there was a lot of, I was expecting to see something in reference to Ragnarok in this film, which
Ragnarok, it's a great show.
Ragnarok, which is, as most of you know, most people that watch the show are also Norse pagans and were raised Norse pagan like me, and know that Ragnarok is the fate of the gods, wherein Thorn fights the Midgard serpent Jormungandr. And in this film, I kept kind of waiting to see, are they going to have 3 straight winners in a row, and that would be the first signifier of Ragnarok. So I kept waiting for it to start snowing.
Yeah.
And
because that's what happens. Everyone knows about Ragnarok, because I knew all those things. So my least favorite part of the movie was Queen Amidala's performance. She said words out of her mouth. She was trying to do something that most people call acting. But instead of doing that, she was saying words out of her mouth. And it wasn't convincing or interesting to listen to. And then like one time she had this like monologue about like the end of the world and nuclear fusion or something. And
are you talking about Natalie Portman?
Yeah, that's what I said. I almost threw up in my mouth at just like the way she was trying to explain the end of the world or whatever. And Queen Amidala is not qualified to comment on those things.
You need to focus up Natalie Portman and do a better job acting. Because you can just keep phoning it in, but there are real actors. There's plenty of real actors in this city of Chicago, and they could actually do something with a role like that instead of just bullshitting your lines, going out and hanging out in your trailer and probably doing blow.
Yeah, it's definitely what she was doing.
Quit phoning it in.
Yeah, and
we're sick of it.
Yeah, for someone doing so much blow in your trailer, you certainly run slow in the running sequences, don't you?
There'd be a monster chasing her. She was doing like the thing when there's a car that's trying to cross the street and it's letting you cross in front of it, and you try and kind of like, oh look, I'm sort of trying to hurry for you.
I'm hurrying for you, but you're not really hurrying.
Fucking Snuffleupagus monster's chasing her.
There was a Snuffleupagus monster in this film, which I, again, was confused by the crossover, and I thought, like, hey, you know what, you belong on Sesame Street. But instead, in this show, he was, like, chasing butterflies and trying to attack buildings. And you're like, you know what, Snuffleupagus, I can tell you how to get to Sesame Street.
Fix it!
Fix it. Well, Thor was really attractive, and then his brother kind of, like, I thought he was from Game of Thrones, and I didn't know why the Game of Thrones man was there. But maybe he wasn't from Game of Thrones. Maybe I was just shopping during most of the film.
2 thumbs up for Thor.
2 thumbs up. It was a fun time.
It was a good movie. If you liked the Avengers movie, you'll like Thor because it's got a lot of thrills, a lot of spills, a lot of chills, and the good guys win. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And if you just, like, don't know how to feel about stuff, you could just eat pizza during the movie. Thank you.
See it in 3D if you have the chance, guys, and we'll see you at the beach.
And then at the movies.
Then we're going to go to a movie.
Yep.
Well, if I push it too hard, the phone will just fall.
No.